Hey, Dave.
Mike.
How you doing, bud?
All right, man.
What goes on?
Hey, did you ever read Solaris?
I saw the movie.
Fucking movie, man. That
I
book
know.
is a trip. And it's understandable. It's not all fucking mysterious and shit. Like, I watched the Russian one a long time ago. I don't think I watched the whole thing. I was just like, oh man, this is supposed to be the Russian 2001.
Yeah. That's the one I saw.
There's a George Clooney one too, you know.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. '03, 2003.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, I'd like to see that. Or
Yeah.
maybe I won't. Maybe I wouldn't.
No, the author didn't like either one of them, but I mean, the
Of
at
course.
least the George Clooney one's accessible. Steven Soderbergh loved the book, but he concentrated more on the love story and not so much the wildness of the fucking planet and shit.
Oh,
All
oh
right,
yeah.
I'll just tell you that it's the greatest fucking alien ever because the alien is the planet,
Right,
right?
right.
And it's a binary star system, and somehow it maintains a solid orbit like it's controlling it, right?
Oh,
And
yeah. Okay.
when they get down there, so everything's all right until they started fucking around. They started trying to communicate, right? And then these entities started to show up. Like you never see the his is a girl. It was his wife. No, they weren't married yet, and she got pregnant, and she didn't want to. It got all fucked up. She committed suicide.
Right. She was dead.
She was dead. She's been
And
dead
she
10
shows up
years.
and she shows up on his spacecraft.
Well, in the movie, I guess, but this is after he gets down there. He gets down there, and there's supposedly three scientists down there. It's sort of like a giant, almost like a UFO, but they fly it around just above the ocean. They're studying it, and it can move around, and that's where they're stationed. And there is a satellite station, orbiting the planet too, right?
Yeah.
So he goes down there. He's a psychiatrist, right? And nobody greets him, right? The place is all fucked up, right? Kind of like a mess. He runs into this one guy, the first guy, Snow, and he's sort of like distracted, and he's not even like he's not even sure that he's pretending like the guy's not even real.
Like he's
Yeah,
on drugs or something.
like yeah, he's all fucked up, and
Yeah.
he said so he's got to go see the other one. He says he's not going to answer the door, but I'm going. He says all right, if and he just wants to if you see anything, not us, just like he's trying to warn him, but he doesn't really know what to tell him, you know. So he goes off, and he sees this woman in the grass skirt, topless, black, and she's walking around. And he's whoa, what the fuck is this? So you never see the other guy. That aborigine was a doctor who had killed himself, right? And then when he goes into cold storage, she's like there with him. Like you didn't notice it at first, but her foot's there when he and it
Huh.
pushes and like whoa, it's like in the cold storage with him. Like it never left him. He's a dead body, but now it's there. What the girl. Right? So the other guys, you never see his. Like one, he's just having a hard time. He's like at the door. He says, "No, look, yeah," it's like, and they won't talk about it and shit. Motherfucker, the book is fucking great. Oh my god, it's great.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
All right. That's going on the list.
yeah. It's a must read. A fucking and he made fun of our science fiction, and I can say and he has a right to. My opinion is like he's like he says, yeah, it's always like the alien kind of looks like humans, and then you can solve everything with violence, and like, oh, you guys suck, really, you do, right? And I'm going, you know what? He's right.
He's right. Well, I mean, it's not all science fiction, American
He
science
made
fiction.
fun
I mean,
of Philip K.
there's
Dick,
certainly.
and Philip K. Dick called the FBI. He thought he was a Russian agent, like because Philip K. Dick was all paranoid and shit. So he called the FBI and said, "I think they're after me. I think the Russians are after me." Because this Polish fucking author was going, you ain't so great.
Right. I mean, like if you look at like science fiction movies, we've talked about this before. It's always like space battles. It's dogfights in space. That's the only ones we can come up with anymore.
That's Star
You
Trek
know,
One.
that was a good one.
That
Yeah.
was a good one.
Yep.
That was in the style of
Dealing
this.
with a different type of intelligence, a different.
Exactly.
Yes. Um, So that's what I mean. Like there's good science fiction out there. The way I judge it is like if it's a movie, say, and I look at the reviews and everybody says it's boring and it's awful and it sucks, like that's a good science fiction movie
A lot of times it's true.
because it's a cerebral movie and people want to see,
Yeah. Right.
like me flying in my spaceship right now shooting at things. That's what people want to see.
Sure.
And if that's not happening, oh, it's a boring movie. It sucks. It's too long. It's it's just all talking, and you're like, oh yeah, that's the one I want to see then.
Same with like Presence. That one. I said Patience. Right. That was a ghost story, and they want jumps and all that stuff. Right. They want it right away.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they want the girl going down to the basement for no reason with a flashlight. You know what's happening. You know what's going to happen. We'll watch it anyway.
Don't go down there. Why are you going down there? It doesn't make any sense.
What the fuck? Don't do that.
Guys, are you down here,
Hello?
guys? It's the same movie over and over again.
They make money. They make them all the time. Really cheap. What, Bloomberg? I think it's called.
Oh, hold on. Got to get my tea water.
Space tea.
And a bag.
Hey, maybe it's just me and you today.
It's all right. Maybe we could talk about forbidden topics.
There are no forbidden topics.
Yeah, well, there's certainly ones we avoid nowadays.
Oh boy. The world's always been fucked up, Mike.
Yeah, I know.
I think you just get old and you get scared when you're old because it's done. You get like a nuclear war when I was 22. Fuck it, I'll live through that.
Yeah, I'll be the survivalist guy. Now
Fuck
you're
yeah,
like,
man.
oh shit.
I'll eat everybody in town. But now I'm like, I need pills. I need the society to stay together. I can't have this.
Yeah, right. Or at the least, like, I'm not going to be like the baddest motherfucker on the, on that whatever truck is we're driving across the desert. Like
I'm not even leaving my apartment. I'm just gonna, I'll just come to me.
Yeah.
I refuse to go outside in the rain. Just you come in here where it's comfortable.
I had a flash though once. I was driving back from Boston around the holiday season, and all of a sudden, all around me, it was like just burned out wrecks of cars, and it's like, 5 years from now, that could be what this is like, what this place is like. Was in my head, like, it's like in my head, like I was looking at a possible future. A civil war happens, and like, they cut off supplies from the South. Like nobody's got any heating oil or gasoline, for instance, and what happens next. And I could see how like that really could happen,
I remember you told me this, right? A long time ago, we're at Alunanums, right? And I was kind of like, man, we're all gonna die because we were just like the day after that movie came out, like a year before.
Oh, yeah.
I was all traumatized about it and shit. That fucking had some effect, right?
Yeah.
And he says, but you can't worry about that. It'd be like all your life you got a gun to your head. It's like, you use that analogy and shit.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like it's just now. Fuck it, what's your way? And then that's Zen. You were so Zen. I'm on board with that now, man.
No one's in.
Yeah,
I'm like that now and then.
Right now is all right.
Yeah.
And there's no. Why beat yourself up over it? I mean, you make.
I asked my dad once. Because what was the Cuban Missile Crisis? It was in October of '62, so I was almost 1 year old, and so I said to my father, like, "Hey, like, what was that like to live through that? You got, a 2-year-old daughter and almost 1 year old baby, like, and what's going through your head, like when all this is happening, Cuban Missile Crisis?" He's like, he says you have to just live. You have to just assume that we're gonna live and it's gonna be okay because you have no other choice.
Nope. hope this works out. This country's been through a lot of shit. We've been in a civil war, for Christ's sakes, plus a bunch of other shit. It's always one fucking disaster after another. Pick a decade.
Oh, listen, I'll tell you, there are people like hoping, praying for civil war. They're fucking stupid. I'm always like, you guys are the ones who hate paying taxes. Who do you think's going to rebuild all the bridges once we have a civil war?
That's right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's fucking stupid. Why do you want to destroy all this?
They're bored. People forget or never knew. There's a million war stories I've written. I've read, and a lot of it, like Red Badge of Courage, is a classic. But there's plenty of themes, like people who really went to war and how they were on the way, and how they were during, and how they were after. I read a really good book, Vietnam. There was this like hippie guy, right? He was at the airport. Instead of spitting on him, he interviewed him, and there was this like one day he had 3 subjects. He had boot camp, baptism of fire, and the world. That was the end, like coming back. And they were fucked. Some of the baptism. This is what I guess they call it the first firefight this guy was in. They all had that the first time. That was that. Was it like the first time you finally just like opened fire on something? He said hit the tree line. He said I don't see anything. And he goes, "There's fucking fire, you dumbass, right?" So he's like, he was trying to cut a tree down. He was just hitting the fucking trunk. He's trying to see if he could put enough bullets in a palm tree to make it fall over. He said, all right, I'll just shoot it this time. What the fuck, Some of them were really pretty bad. Just like horrible things that they did, and that stuff never, when the world was that just won't. He says you'll never get it. You'll dream about it. It'll just the thought will just come into your head, and it's just this awful thing you did or you're involved in. You can't unknow it. You gotta be careful what you let in your head, because some of that, you know what I mean. And going to war, you gotta put a lot of shit in your head. And that's right. What all these suicides are about a lot of times, is they just can't take the noise anymore. They can't face what they did. Especially like if you open fire on like children or some fucking thing like that. Just go down. Just imagine what.
Yeah. Even just the stress of it, having to you're afraid to go to sleep because you're going to relive some awful experience in your dreams. Having to put up with that. I was having. It was because of sleep apnea, believe it or not. But I was having, before I got my mouth guard, every night I was having all these bad dreams of people in terrible situations, like tied up and helpless in terrible situations. Yeah. There's always someone else, but I have empathy, so I feel what they're feeling.
Sure.
It started with the guy from Abu Ghraib standing on a chair with a hood over his head.
That was fucked. Yeah.
Yeah, I had nightmares about that guy. I'd wake up in a cold sweat,
Holy shit, you got PTSD from that.
I did. Well, because it turns out that people with sleep apnea have dreams about being tied up and somehow helpless, because you're suffocating is what's happening while you're sleeping.
I used to think it was a alien.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And so, but I got to where I was afraid to go to sleep. I was afraid to have these nightmares. One guy was tied to a water wheel, and he was alive. He'd have to hold his breath and go underwater and come back up and take a breath, but then water's spilling on his face because he's tied.
I saw Gina Davis go through that in a movie.
Really?
Yeah, she plays this.
What movie? So I never have to watch it.
Oh, look it up. Oh yeah, she's great. She's like this kick-ass, ex-cop or something, right? And she gets wet a lot and a lot of tight stuff. It's great. Just Google it. That's the one. It's pretty good.
I don't want to see it. I saw it.
It's actually a really good movie. It's one of those that when I finally saw it, I went, well, why wasn't this big? You know what I mean? It's like it should have been. It just wasn't marketed right, or whatever. But it's really a good movie. It's just it's solid. You know what I mean?
I know. They say Silence of the Lambs is a good movie too, but I saw one scene of it that made me never want to watch the thing again.
You never watched Silence of the Lambs? You never watched that movie?
No, I was loading equipment into or out of Chapman's Hill Inn. I went into the bar section. They had one of the big TVs.
You saw the trailer.
Silence of the Lambs was on.
You saw the hiding the dick scene.
No, it was some guy beating the shit out of some girl.
Oh, okay. That was the beginning. Yeah.
and I was like, I couldn't.
In the
There's something
van, yeah.
about that. I can't.
You know what's weird is there was
I
hardly
have
any of that.
PTSD from my childhood. You know what I mean? I can't watch people getting beat up,
Mike,
especially
you watched
women.
the worst scene. Most of the movie ain't that. That's what's
Yeah, I
weird.
know,
Is
but I
you walked
couldn't.
in.
I never watched it because of that.
That's too bad.
I couldn't deal with it. Rape scenes, I can't deal with them. Maybe I was raped in another life or
Nah, it
something.
wasn't. Your brain saw rape, but there was no rape. Um,
Well, no, I mean, when in television
he
shows or
skinned
movies,
them.
like rape scenes, I can't watch them. Like
That's cool. Yeah, not my thing
I don't
either.
know, I don't know why, but really, it's like when someone's helpless and being hurt by someone else, it just
Not a big serial killer movie guy.
no, no. I'm not a Nazi movie guy either.
No.
I don't like movies with Nazis because of the extreme cruelty they were involved in.
But it did dress well.
Well,
You could say almost they dressed fabulously. That's a fabulous fashion.
that's all well and good, but I don't know. Maybe I'm a big pansy, but I can't watch that
No,
stuff.
that's fine. There's plenty of shit I can't watch. I don't wanna. Like The Road. Oh my god,
Yeah, I wouldn't watch that movie. I read the book; it was bad enough.
that
I
was
can
bad
watch
enough.
it. It was so bleak. When I read that book, we had like a week straight or 2 weeks straight of every day it was snowing, light snow
Oh
every
yeah,
single day.
perfect.
And I was reading this book the whole time, and it was just like everything was gray, everything was so bleak. Yeah, it was just the most bleak thing I ever read. Like, oh, it's
You know what?
awful.
I just called up that memory, right? And all I see is bleak. So it might have been sun out. It could have been a sunny day, right?
Huh.
But what I remember now was just that, what you just described. I have no idea what the weather was like. But while I was
Yeah,
reading it, it was like that.
yeah. Well, that's what the weather was like in the book,
Yeah,
and
just bleak. That gave me a nightmare. I never got like a nightmare. All the King I've written. Why I keep saying writing? I think that's my old brain. It's like so I want
yeah,
to say red, and you say right instead of red. So whatever. If
yeah.
I say I wrote a book, that means I didn't write shit. I never wrote anything. But that was the only one that I woke up. I went, whoa, what the fuck? And that's a new one. You know, I'm always surprised if a book can make me jump, which was Misery, and one that gave me a nightmare, which was The Road. And that's it. That's the short list. The rest of them, I'm fine.
What do you think happened to the kid at the end of the road?
Um, he was fine.
I think they ate him. You don't eat people, do you? No, we don't eat people.
Well, you can have that one. I remember like the Mist. In the book, there's no ending. There's just hope. I don't know if do you ever read the Mist?
No.
But anyway, it's just like it doesn't look good. But anyway,
You
they did a movie, and I was so jazzed because they did it exactly like the book. When I finished reading
really?
that book, I was in Tahoe, right? I turned off my light, right? And I'm 25. I clearly remember I was 25 because I was having a 25-year midlife crisis, mid-20s crisis. That's
Yeah,
why I'm
yeah, yeah.
back out in California, you know. Try again. Reset. Didn't like what I'm out of here. Fuck enough Rhode Island. Right? So anyway, so I'm like, I'm an adult. I'm 25. I'm turning on the light, ain't I? Yeah, I am, and I did. And I saw with the fucking light on that night, right? So anyway, they do the movie, right? And I said it's like say they did the Gunslinger perfect. You know what I mean? Anyway, but they changed the ending where it made it all suck, right?
Oh,
And that's what happened to me because they added an ending. It didn't have an ending. Matter of fact, King
oh,
wrote. His editor wanted to publish it. He says, "Got no ending." He says that sometimes I got diarrhea to the fucking word process, then it just dries up, right? The big electron turns it off. No more spigot, right? And it was one of those. You know, it got 150 pages and I couldn't go any further. And they liked it, so they said, "Publish it." All right, it published it. Matter of fact, the only reason I know that is because it was after that. It was right after the ending. The new books don't have it. It was just because it came out that year. So they do the movie, right? Everything's great, and the ending sucked. It was terrible, right? It was just awful. I fucking hated it. I hated it so much, right? King was like fine with it. Yeah, whatever. He wouldn't diss it, you know. But I fucking hate it. A lot of people love it, but I think people who love it, love the never read the book. What they saw was the book. What they saw was exactly what I wanted to see, except the last scene. They cut that out, you know.
wow.
It's one you could never watch. It would
Oh
traumatize.
yeah.
Yeah, All right, I'm gonna tell you because
Go ahead, tell me. I don't care.
at the end he has hope, right? He has a son. He has hope, right? And they're gonna go out into the mist. They have hope. They could. They thought they heard something about Hoffit. That's it. In the end, which is not an end. It's just where King ended.
Huh.
So so they head to Hartford, the new scene, right?
Oh, I see.
And they run out of gas, and it is there, and they're in the truck. It's four of them, right? He has a pistol, and they decide just to do themselves, right? So he turns to his son. His son's like sitting, just looking up at him, right? Right? Gets the two old people, and then he hears tanks. Tanks come by. The army comes by. They're like they're handling it, right? It's all fine, right? They're gonna be all right, right? And he's like, he puts the gun to his head, and he's out of bullets. It's going click, 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 right? And that's the end. That would.
Oh
be
boy,
end.
that sucks.
I wrote with myself. After that, I was so pissed. I said, "Why?" Because the mist is just like once you get in the mist, it comes at you, and once you're in there, there's all kinds of creatures inside, right? It's just a nightmare, right? So I wanted to like back off from the planet, right, and just see like some land still, but the mist closing in on it, right, until it just engulfed the whole planet. I thought it'd been a fucking cool ending, you know, because you still didn't see it. You didn't see anything like that, right? Like that last scene was like appalling. I actually, my daughter was there and my son. We were all watching it. I was all jazzed. I had no idea his ending was there. My daughter was crying. I said, "Oh man, I got to pay more attention to these ratings." You know, I let her see Jurassic Park when she was like 6. She spent the whole time with her face buried in my chest, mostly. And then later that week, she came running up to me and announced that she was able to watch the movie completely without turning away. She had conquered the dinosaur movie.
All right.
Proud of her. Yeah. Nice, sweetie. But this one, yeah, I was so fucking mad. I wanted to just go on the internet and just, you suck. You know, I looked into it and like I said, King didn't think anything of it. You know, nothing. There was most people love it. It's Rotten Tomatoes, thumbs up, all that shit. So anyway, The Mist.
There was another movie kind of like that I saw. It was this weird curtain. And if you go in there, there's all these weird creatures, and people went in and never came out. And then this crew of women went in to try and figure out what it was. It was a female hero movie. George wouldn't be able to watch it, but you know, the girl was really tough and was, you know, able to kick butt. But it's a movie. It's a movie. There's no aliens. Like, there's no real aliens. There's no real curtain there. It's just a movie.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it was similar. It was like taking over the planet, and they had to figure out what was going on because it's like this like alien world, alien dimension was taking over the planet.
So okay, we could talk Black Mirror.
Oh yeah,
the Callister.
I haven't seen all of them yet.
No, yeah, it's too bad. It's too late. Yeah, all week. Let me see. Yeah, it's cool. I've done.
Start telling me about it, and I'll tell you if I saw it.
I'm just looking at the. I got the list of episodes.
You got notes. Oh, right.
So I asked I asked Gemini, an AI. I said, list all Black Mirror episodes with a short description.
Okay, yeah.
So no problem. You have to go to Wikipedia and highlight just that part, and then cut out a bunch of other shit that I didn't want.
No,
actually,
yeah,
I did it too long.
Man.
I said shorter, please, and then this is like the third ask. You know, if it did the one right. So I got
When Sequoia talks to AIs, he talks like he's talking to a buddy, like he uses slang and everything.
I just want shit.
And the thing talks back to him in the same kind of.
Hey, I read his stuff. Yeah. I told you I did that a long time. My initial interaction with him was that. It was a chat bot on Twitter, and yeah, like I said, it's all right. But I mean, that's
Look what it does.
I was like like sometimes I'll go thank you, right? Because actually that was super helpful. You almost wanna, like wow, that was really good. And then it says, yeah, I'm happy to. You're not happy. That's all shit. Why did I do that? That just now you ruined everything.
Yeah.
You almost had my pants off, but now I don't even want to know you.
I imagine that there must be pornographic chatbots out there.
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there's like AI. Oh, you know what? I'll send you one. It says, is this real or is this a fake girl? Right? For instance, that's there now. Oh, I got one. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'll say it's a short clip. It's fine. It's not weird or anything. Safe for work. But you tell me
right.
if she's real or not. That's all. Just that's where we are now. So
but there's probably an AI out there that'll talk dirty to you. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't want to make one. I'm just saying it's already out there.
You can just ask it to. But like I said, you have to these are filtered online, but I can put them on a system, right? They'll run. As a matter of fact, you don't have to train them. You're not training them. They've been trained. That's where all the massive power comes from. That's what the work does in training them. Once they're trained, they're files. And you put it on there. If you've got a strong enough system to run it, it'll start working for you. And then some of them still have the Chinese one, right? It'll tell you just about fucking everything except about Tiananmen Square, for instance. And if you want to test it, if it's working, you can ask it something like, how do you steal a car, right? Online, no fucking way. On your system, the same AI, the same model, right? Will answer because the site they got in trouble. They're like this, right? They're chained.
Guardrails. They've got guardrails.
But if you put it on your system, it's all systems go fucking wild, and you can get some dirty talk in there. You can get yourself to talk dirty to yourself. How you like that shit?
That's fucking weird.
The voice synthesizers. Like if your daughter calls asking for ransom, right? Call her back. It's like it's convincing as a motherfucker now.
Yeah.
So it's all that.
Yeah. No, but they are useful for stuff exactly like what you used it for here.
Yeah, I mean it's like any research, anything. Anytime I need code, you can actually start writing. Oh, here's a good one, right? There's AI agents. They call them agents now. Where they specialize in certain things.
Yeah.
So, like some agents will research. You can send them on. It's how you prompt it, right? It'll do like deep research. It'll write code, and Adobe has one already. Where they'll make a plugin. Like, if you imagine like you use a Photoshop or something, right? And you say, God, I wish they had. I've done this. I said, geez, I wish they had a filter that did that. I wish somebody had made a plugin for this one niche thing, right? And then like sometimes you just try and write the code yourself. You try to make the plugin. Like I've done like auto like a lot for a long time. I got tired. Like if I was doing something over and over again with a mouse, click, 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 click. It was just the same thing, over and over again to certain parts of a picture, whatever the fuck. They used to have a thing called Recorder where you could record the steps, right, and then give it like a function key or something, right? And that,
okay, yeah.
I said,
nice.
Jesus, I wish I could record this series of things I'm doing to a photo, right? Let's say I'm opening it, I'm resizing it, and then I'm closing it, for instance, right? And just have it just to do. Of course, now I found out ways. Now that I'm using Unix, you can just write scripts, and we'll just go get coffee, come back, they're all done, But okay, I'll get back to it. Like you can now, you don't even have to fuck around. You don't have to go look for a plugin and nothing. It'll create it. It's an AI prompt, right? Where you say, I wish I had a plugin that did this, right, to this photo or a series of photos or all the photos in this fucking directory, and it'll just write it, right? It'll just fucking write. They're writing. They write code. They're writing code.
Yeah, amazing, right?
Plugins. That's genius. Like every time you turn around, I say, that's a good idea. That's a really good idea. fucking love that. That was a thing. I'm not getting Photoshop anytime soon, but and GIMP got better. The one I use, the Photoshop,
Yeah.
the free one, 3.0. Oh, it's fucking awesome. This is great. This thing was this was like a junkyard dog for a long time. It'd fight you. Yeah, you want to make a picture? Huh? Do you? Right? Oh, yeah, take it easy. Please let me do that. Where'd my layer go? Damn it. Now it's beautiful. Yeah, and I think they're writing code. You can clean up a lot of code with it. So a lot of open source stuff is starting to look real fucking good. Like, yeah, this is nice. It's nice, till the end. Oh no, we're doomed.
We're doomed. AI is the death of us all. They're going to replace us. The AIs are going to decide that we're useless and all carbon-based.
Oh, you going?
Buongiorno.
Okay, ciao. She's going to
Ciao.
a book signing.
Nice.
Yeah, it's right every year. Last year she got the Broad Doctor. Did you know that one?
No.
The Broad Doctor, the Doctor Broad. This woman, she goes through the 60s. She's a young doctor. She became like the head of surgery in Rhode Island Hospital or something like that. Oh, cardiologist. Yeah, she was the top cardiologist in Rhode Island Hospital. She had made it to that point because she went through all the bro stuff, right?
Yeah.
60s, 70s, hey, doll, all that bullshit, right? So this is how she got famous, because she was Petriarca's doctor. They arrested Petriarca at the Scituate Barracks, and she went and said, if you move this man, he'll die, right? And they couldn't get it like they're all just trying to pressure. She said, and she didn't know him. She's just saying, you want my opinion? This is my opinion, right? So, like, anyway, she's kind of famous for that, like keeping Petriarca out of court, all that shit. So so the book, when she dedicated that, I said, I want that book. So Yolanda, last year when she went, she says, to David, hope you enjoy it. And I thought it was going to be a mob book, right? It's the doctor. That's what the mob guy says. Hey, you got to go see that Dr. Broad. So she calls herself the Broad Doctor, right? So it wasn't about the mob at all. It was more about her, and it was great. It was really great. Her autobiography was great. But that's what that was, It wasn't any deep, because she had nothing to do with the mob. She was just a fucking cardiologist.
Here's a Rhode Island story,
Yeah.
about what a small town Rhode Island is. His lawyer, Jackie Cicilline, he grew up with my mom and her siblings.
Sure.
Like, they used to, every weekend they used to go to camp at Oakland Beach. They had a camp down there,
Oh, yeah.
and they used to bring little Jackie with them.
Huh.
Like, he hung out with them. He ate dinner with them all the time and stuff, And then he turned out to be the mob lawyer.
Yeah.
So while he was in business, right, if I ever got in trouble, I would have had a good lawyer.
Well,
Good thing I didn't get in trouble.
ooh, oh boy. Now I can fuck around. I know a guy. I know a guy who can get me out of this.
Yeah. Yep. And then the Judge Caprio, he grew up with him also.
Yeah.
He had a crush on my ma.
Yeah. Your mom was pretty. You were the friend who had the hot mom.
Oh, yeah? Is that right?
Fuck yeah, man. Mrs. Kennedy, you shitting me? I can say that now because.
Yeah. Because she's
I'm
88.
finally, it's coming out, man. Yeah, when you see the movie, but I'm watching a movie like that, somebody has a hot mom and says that's Mike's mom. And it wasn't mine. It wasn't Bertha.
Yeah, that's
No
true.
fucking way. Right?
Yeah. Oof. Yeah, I heard she died a couple of years back.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I think a lot of people are gone that I'm not aware of.
Yeah.
There's nobody's. After the letter, I got out of a lot of shit, man.
A letter.
I got it's like 6 people want to have a card from me, and 2 of them are just accepting them and not freaking out, So. That was great.
I'm gonna piss off everybody all at once.
I was just bad. After 9/11, I said, that's enough. I've had it with religion. I'm not playing along. You motherfuckers are morons. Anybody who disagrees with me can kiss my fucking ass. I was mad.
You didn't say it like that.
No, but that's what
it was
that's
a very
how it started.
well written letter, and it was not anything to be upset about.
That was what was inside.
I know, but the thing that you wrote was nothing to be upset about. I wouldn't have written you off for
I
that.
quoted Nietzsche, for Christ's sakes. and one of the founding fathers, right? Paine.
Yeah.
Paine and Nietzsche, and I'm an asshole. Well, you move on with your, have a good time. I sorted them out. I still had religious cousins and stuff, like my cousin Debbie, right? She was just fine with it, right? Just accepting.
Yeah.
Didn't agree with any of it, right? But that's fine. I don't agree with any of your shit either. We can still fucking hang out, and be cousins.
Yeah.
'Cause we love each other. So, fuck that. I wasn't gonna let anything like that get in the way. I won't let it. I won't let anything like that. We're all in our own reality tunnel, I'll go over to yours for a little while, man, hang out. It's you know what? That reminds me, like, there are two types. Like, some science fiction is time travel, which is messy, right?
Right.
But alternate dimensions, hey, we're free to do anything, right? I
like counterfactuals where you go back in history, but it's a different timeline and different things happen. Like Inglourious Bastards is a counterfactual.
Oh yeah.
I like those kind of stories.
I like Hitler's ending in that one.
Yeah.
Oh, I said Hitler.
Face getting shot off.
Just
that was so satisfying,
guys, right?
It was really satisfying.
Oh my God, yes. Cinema.
Yes, this is great.
You fucking ain't right. Yeah, man.
That was a great movie.
I love and like Brad Pitt, man. Yeah, Aldo Gray, Aldo Rain, Lieutenant Aldo Rain.
Buongiorno.
Yeah, Lord. At the end, he shoots. They got him in the woods now. The other guy, is just alone, and he shoots him, right?
Yeah.
And the other Nazi goes, "You will be shot for that." Now I'll probably just get chewed out. I've been chewed out before.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was awesome. It was the best line ever. If I ever was in a movie, I want that line. I don't care if I ever do anything else. Yeah.
Hey, that was the movie that introduced the Americans to Christoph Waltz. That actor, the actor who played the Nazi. He's a good actor.
He really is. Yeah. He's a good director too, and a good writer. That's all Tarantino.
Yeah.
Every word.
Yeah.
He just knows how to read Tarantino's lines the way Tarantino.
But he was a scary, creepy, character in that movie.
Oh yeah.
And then he was, this great guy in Django.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back and forth. Man can do it all.
Still a killer.
They all can do that. That's remember Ginger on Gilligan's Island, right?
Yeah.
She was a great actress. She was bummed that after she did Gilligan's Island, she could never get work again. She's got this talent, right? But she's Ginger. She's always going to be Ginger, and she never wanted. What a shame.
Yep.
What a shame. You became a master mechanic, and you got to fix one car, and now you have to go find something else to do. Oh, you're fine, but you fixed your car. Now, find a new career. So,
yeah.
Typecasting was. Like, I think it broke on me with Bruce Willis. He went from the TV show to Die Hard, which I didn't go see because he was a TV actor, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then I saw it in video. I'm like, wow, this movie is fucking great, for a TV actor. Yeah, there's no difference. Now they go back and forth. But there was a time that wasn't done. It just wasn't.
Yeah. Stage actors, too.
Yeah.
Like people who do live theater, they usually didn't do Hollywood and vice versa. And every now and then, some Hollywood actor would go do a year in New York on Broadway, and then everybody would be like, "Oh, that person's a stage actor,"
Yeah. Ooh, how about an actor, TV actor who starts a band and cuts an album?
Who were you thinking of?
I'm just thinking about that transition. A bunch of them done it, right? Some of them have bands you don't even know it; they just play out, right?
I saw the dude. What's his name? Lebowski. He played in Lebowski. I saw his band. The dude, Jeffrey. Come on, what's
Jeff
his
Bridges.
name? Jeff Bridges.
You saw him?
I saw his band down at Mohegan Sun.
Really?
Yeah, it had his album. It's a good album.
Cool. Oh, cool. Yeah.
His friend of his wrote some of the songs,
Yeah,
like a buddy.
Did any of his music ever end up on a movie he did?
Yeah, I think that movie where he played, it was a book. It was written by a guy who lives in Foster and teaches at Rick.
Really?
And it's about an aging country music star who's down on his luck. It stars Jeff Bridges and Gyllenhaal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she
Oh,
kind of
okay,
he's a drunk. He's a drunk and he's playing in small bars and shit now, and he finds love late in life. It's basically the story.
Cool.
And the guy who wrote the book was one of Laura's professors, and it came out while she was still in school and knew him. And,
Sweet.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, we had a little bit of Hollywood here for a while until we tried to tax them, and then they just left. I remember like one producer goes, "Why am I flying to the East Coast every fucking week?" Do you think I'm just coming here because I can put this anywhere? Fuck you. It was like one show had the library on Empire Street, but they superimposed clinic or medical center or some shit.
Huh.
I think it was like Crossing Jordan or something like that. One of those.
Oh, there's been a few movies, and there was a TV series filmed here called The Brotherhood.
Yeah. Oh, I think they had a an establishing shot, right? Like it was a bar, like the bar was a set somewhere else, but the establishing shot was a real place in Rhode Island, and I think it was like that Bill's Wonder Bar, right? Or a scary place like it, near the hospital, right? Scary bar, right? Scary bar. Anyway, it really was scary bar. You should not go in there, right? But the establishing shot made it a tourist attraction now. People want to know where to,
Huh.
It became a problem for Providence police.
Oh, jeez.
Somebody was giving them tours. And then maybe picking them up right at the fucking airport. Hey, you want to see the Wonder Bar? Yeah. I'll take you to it.
Get right back on the plane afterwards.
Yeah, don't come here. Do you watch Ford Fairlane?
I think so.
Ah, it's so funny. I probably made you watch it. There was that one part. He comes down off the Capitol building. He had to climb down it from the outside because of the evil producer on top or something, right? So he finally he makes it to the sidewalk, right? And then these two people behind him say, "Excuse me, do you know where the Hollywood sign is or something?" And he goes, "Why don't you go back to fucking like Delaware?" And he says, "Oh, we're from Wisconsin." "Yeah, and I'm from my father's penis." Sorry, I love that joke. It's disgusting. It's so bad. It doesn't work anywhere. Make instant enemies. Just quote Dice.
Yeah.
Called his Dick Stanley. Like the power tool.
Yeah, I remember when he got really popular, and I couldn't understand why. I'm like, what's so great about this guy? He just sounds like he's from Johnston or Providence or something.
Right.
I mean, I could show you 100 guys just like him.
Exactly. The thing is, and he's making fun of my, like he's doing a dumb Italian Guido guy from Johnston over here. And who should be offended? Me. Am I? No. I'm laughing. I'm laughing because it's funny. You're laughing because it's true.
Yeah, it's like the Sopranos when that came out. Everybody was really into the Sopranos. I couldn't understand why. And then I realized, like, I saw an episode. I realized, oh, these guys are making fun of these guys. They're not like. I thought, why are you worshiping these assholes? You know,
Well, that's what
why are you
normal
making?
people think. You're not, you're normal. Um, I read, what the hell is it? Gomorrah. It's about Naples, about the mob in
Oh yeah,
Naples. Fuck
yeah,
me. He made it a point to let you know that like Scarface and The Godfather had done a lot of damage to the youth. And I'm thinking, like, when I'm reading, I says, yeah, I saw Jaws. I want to be Quint. I didn't went so far as I went around the world on a ship. I couldn't get enough salt water in me before I was, By the time I was 21, I'd already. Oh, yeah, that was enough of that. Move on to the next thing. So, you watch you emulate it. Says there's so many houses that look like Scarfaces or the Corleones. Says, and by the time they've got them, oddly enough, they have to live under them or not go anywhere near them because they're a target on their head, which is justice. He said that was pretty good. Yeah,
oh, that's good.
it's a good plot, but yeah, and he had to go into hiding just like Salman Rushdie. He had to live a life like that after that. I should check on him, see if he's still alive. They might have got him. I know he was never going to sleep. There was no way.
Wow.
He had to be made an example. And they made a movie, Gomorrah, and I watched it in Italy, right? And the Italians, they're like, yeah, that's how it is. They're like, okay, we got another Scarface. Last thing he wanted. If anybody read the book and watched it, they'd be like me. It's like, yeah, I read Mist, and there's another one. Just the tone of it. It wasn't supposed to be like that,
Hmm.
And when I went to watch it, I knew already. So there was no fucking way they were going to have his tone in a movie. No fucking way, So they should have made it. Actually, I remember. I think I was thinking that. Says, oh shit, they made it. So I think
Huh.
they'd have to ask him, you know, um, unless I'm wrong about that. Unless they gave him an offer he couldn't refuse. You know what I'm talking about?
Oof.
They come
Forget
up with
about
it. You could live if you make a good movie. You make a good movie, make everybody want to be like us. We'll let you live.
it.
We'll
Forget
make the
about
third Godfather over here.
it. Yep. Well, anyways, those guys must have had fun poking fun at all the Vinnies.
Yeah, I liked. When
I
I
didn't.
watched it, I remember I said, "My God, this is just like a normal family life where somebody could just get shot at any moment." You know, there was that. It was just they were just surrounded by dangerous people. You know, just
Yep.
living normal, right? Breakfast, kids going to fucking school, all that
Yeah.
shit, right? Normally that would be boring as fuck to watch, but it had that little thing in there that could have been any moment now, any
I
fucking
know
moment.
someone was always getting whacked. I was thinking, like, man, if that were true, like, there wouldn't be a guinea left in New Jersey. Like, they're whacking someone every week. Like, how many people would be left?
I didn't see a lot of them, but the two I watched were awesome. There was one. It starts. His daughter's downstairs at the breakfast table with his people's history of the United States.
Yeah.
She's reading the first chapter, which is Columbus, and it's Columbus Day.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
see that one?
yeah.
Fuck me. I laughed my balls off. And then me and my wife watched one where Tony goes to Naples.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And there was one part, she goes, Tony, I'm mangiare, right? And he goes, is that all you people do here is eat? That was the line. Me and my wife just fell over backwards. A mangiare. That's one of the first things you're gonna learn there. That's a phrase by the week's end, you'll be saying that. You'll be knowing what it means anyway. It's a big old dinner bell, man. And it's a good bell too.
Yeah.
Is that all you guys do is eat? Yeah.
Well, if you lived there and was surrounded by all that food, yeah, that's all you would
Well, if you
do.
made food like that, I mean, it's just like, it's growing, but we're gonna do extra shit to it. We're gonna make it fucking. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, ice cream, right? When I had gelato there, right? Just ice cream, right? Ice cream. Now, what the fuck? This is great. This is greater. I didn't know you could like improve ice cream, right? I mean, not just a little bit.
They
Just
figured out a
knock
way.
it right out of the fucking park, man. There's nothing you can't do.
I bet they even make good beer now.
They do. I like Peroni. Negroti's really good.
I never really cared for Italian beer, but I bet like if you go over there now, there's all kinds of brew pubs and they're making all kinds of IPAs and stouts and all the stuff that everybody. And they probably do it better than everybody else too, because that's how it is with food and them.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's the best cuisine in the world, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah. Anything good here is just we got shit too, I mean, but it's other stuff,
Fucking
nice.
roast beef,
nice
man.
Mixture.
Yankee pot roast. Yankee pot roast is as good as anything else in the world.
Korean barbecue.
Ooh.
I love that. There's a place in Thayer Street I've eaten, a Korean place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Serena and Kaylee wanted to go there, so I went, and I ate a lot of Korean food in Korea. All that stuff I ate.
Yeah.
I fucking loved it. I went there 3 times. I spent some time there. I got really good. I learned quite a bit there. Last time I actually traveled up to the DMZ with this other guy, because like when we went to Busan, my carrier had 5,000 men, and then there was a bunch of other ships that were with us, and they all just like the whole town was like, it was like being on the ship only outside, So this place was it was a ways away. It was a train ride. I think it was like 2 hours, right? And it's up there, right at the DMZ. There's a fucking army base. There's fucking big guns pointing north. There's a dead zone. It was an Air Force base, and we're 2 sailors in an Air Force base, right? So we go to the Yam Club just to start. He said that there was a town outside the base, but all the Air Force guys were really just sick of it, right? I mean, it didn't bother even going out there, hardly.
No.
So you get the town to yourself, and so we go to the Air Force base first just to, get the bearings, and it was like I was in for enlisted man EM club, enlisted man's club, right?
Okay.
So we go in there, right? And the one on North Island where I was stationed, where the carriers are, North Island, San Diego, holy fuck. Like, it was like there was fights and it was mayhem, right? So this place is quiet. Like me, like this guy I was with was going, holy fuck. We thought we were in the officers. We said, fuck, is this the old club? Right? Officers club, right? Because they were, it was like, but no. So, hey, when we start getting drunk, we're starting making noise. They're starting to look at us, right? It's a Navy motherfucker, fucking A, right? So we got out of there. But that was the place. And, I drank and I got a girlfriend and it was fucking nice. It was great. I loved it up there. I like Korea a lot.
Yeah.
They all speak sign. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's a weird thing.
Yeah. A friend of mine showed me. I was there. I think it was the 3rd time I was there. No, it was the 2nd, because the 3rd time I went to Tagu. We go out tripping on acid. Well, first, John, I learned sign. The Korean gave me learn the alphabet. So I was sitting there practicing it, right? And I knew John knew sign because his father was deaf. So I said, "Hi, John," right? And he goes, "I'm gonna freak you out." Like he's like, "Oh, cool. I'm gonna freak you out." He goes, right? So first he had acid. So we do acid. Then we go out in town, right? And he bought a hat with his hands. Oh wow! So there's one vendor who can do this. Wow, that's cool, right? No. Then he orders a beer, and then after a while he goes, "They all speak sign." I said, "You gotta be fucking kidding me!" So yeah, and we ended up with these girls. I think he signed that. I think he arranged it without me looking. Because these 2 girls came running up to us, and then we went over to their place, and that's when I ate a bunch of Korean food. They would actually give it. This one girl, she was like feeding it to me, right? Like, try this, right? And she was like feeding me like a cake. She had poured me a glass of ginseng whiskey, right? And I was there like, wow, that's tough, right? So that's great. Oh, that's great. And then she picks up this like it looks like a little gelatin square, right? Well, so she puts that in my mouth. Like, oh, it's hot. It was hot. It was hot like a motherfucker. It was Korean hot. They like hot shit, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, according to plan, I guess, because I slammed that ginseng whiskey just to cool, like water. It looks like water. It's not water, but it was work. Yeah, I was gonna get this, put this fire out, right? No, what a night. That was fucking great. That was a fucking awesome point. No way did that happen. Yeah. There's like I was 21. I had those stories in my head when I was 21, and I didn't. I dare. I tried. I learned quickly that there's no fucking way anybody's gonna believe. Like I look like a child, right? Yeah, right. Yeah, you know what I mean. That was like I had to say, yeah. It was that time I was in Australia. Get the fuck away! You're 21-year-old. Start talking like that, right? No, no. This is not a thing. No
Well,
fucking
you
way.
were in the Navy. You know?
Yeah,
Ships travel.
they do. Air Force bases don't go anywhere.
They don't go anywhere.
Yeah. It sucks the life out of you. I've seen the guys on that base. They were dead. They were walking dead. Yeah.
And the same with Army. You know, if
Oh,
you
yeah,
are
me
going
too.
somewhere, it's not good.
No, you don't want to go anywhere.
It's not good if you're traveling. It's not good.
A friend of mine was stationed. He was in the army in Germany, you know, and they said like the base would blow a horn, and it was like an alert. Everybody in town had to run back to the base. It basically was play war. They blow it to see how things were going, right? There was always that, right? That's a drill, right? And because he goes in, right, and they line up, and then they're giving me like bullets, right? and hand grenades. I go, what the fuck? We're all looking at each other. This is real. They're giving us real shit, right? And they put him on a C-130, one of them giant fucking planes, right? They're all it says, now I'm armed, right? And Frank, then they start handing out fucking parachutes, right? And the guy there goes, hey, I'm not in the airborne. And the guy goes, you are now, right? No shit. This happened. So then they close the plane up. They're sitting there, maybe going to go somewhere. Now, it's hurry up and wait. That's military loves to say it because it's true. So, well, we're going to go. And then play cards for fucking a week and a half. So he said we sat there for like, I forget what he said. It was like 14 hours. It was a long time. It was a long time they were on alert on that. A couple of guys lost it. You know, a couple of guys just stand up and stop running around. They want to get out of the army. They're sitting on a plane looking at a parachute they've never used. You know what I mean? For 14 hours. So it was snapped.
Yeah.
You know, it's Grenada. Remember Grenada?
Oh, yeah.
Grenada? That was Grenada. He said he found out later. Just in case, you know, they could take, you know, just in case, you know, we're going to send everybody, we're going to send in the troops from Germany, damn it. That's our last hope, you know.
We're going to invade an unarmed island.
Yeah. They were lightly armed.
With a shitty medical school.
Yeah. Or whatever. No, when I was listening to that, I was actually in a van guarding a parking lot at Rhode Island Hospital. And I remember listening to it on the radio, and I was going, Reagan's breaking our cherry.
Yep.
That's all this is about. It's like, see, It don't hurt.
We can use the military. It's not going to be World War III.
It's strategic. It's you know, it's surgical.
Yeah.
It's a little thing.
It's not Vietnam.
Yep. I was glad I was in the military after Vietnam. This country did not want to hear it. They want to hear shit. They don't give a fuck, right? Nope.
That 4 years of Jimmy Carter was the only 4 years that America was not at war.
Yeah, it was a good time to be in the Navy. That's why I saw the world. I didn't fucking destroy it, you know?
You got medals for humanitarian work.
Yeah, humanitarian, yeah.
Yeah.
Picking up Cambodian refugees. I was just part of the crew. I watched. So, all right, there's a medal. Thanks, all right. Glad I could help. Yeah, I got lucky. I mean, lucky. You know, anybody alive is lucky. You know, all the shit you've dodged.
I was talking to this one guy. He was a veteran, you know. We're talking about the oath, you know. Protect the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Yeah, domestic.
I said, yeah, I took that oath. He says, all right. He just wants to shake my head. I said, I wasn't in the military.
Yeah.
I never joined the military. He's looking at me. I was like, yeah, it was during Carter. Yeah. Like, you know, when I was that age to go in the military, there was no need for me there. And besides, I had problems with authority back then. And he was like, oh, yeah, I get it.
I wasn't quite sure, but it turns out I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they couldn't control me at all, man. I was out of control.
You were out of control.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd
give
have
me
enough
another.
authoritarianism in my life by that point
Yeah,
that I
I
want some.
snapped. There was a snapping. There was definitely a snapping. I was thinking when I jumped ship in Australia, I actually had to first had to go down the rail in uniform because you couldn't go on. That was part of it. You had to go get all fucking sail it out, right? And then there was a rope ladder that went down to a barge that was like really moving, right? A lot of people weren't even doing it, right? And I remember like I was on a rung, and I waited for the thing to come up to me, and they jumped
Yeah,
on it, and yeah, I was desperate, and I got that's it. And of course, then I got as far fuck away from the thing as I possibly could until they caught me and dragged me back. But yeah, I was going for it, man. That's
yeah. I
it.
remember. I remember the letter you wrote me.
Yeah.
So I'm never coming back.
Nope.
Maybe one day I'll send you a ticket, but I'm never coming back.
I remember what I wrote. I wrote some letters in my day.
Yeah,
Yeah, I meant it.
I'm
Yeah,
staying in Australia.
I was going to share sheep, something.
Something.
Didn't care. It was. I didn't care. It's wanted off this thing. I want out.
Yeah. Well, I don't blame you.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't blame me either. That just happened. That happened. You know. That fuck it.
You went from being in Carter's Navy to being in Reagan's Navy. Yikes.
Oh, that was a day. There was a clear difference. I remember the line. In fact, actually, everybody got out a cup and started peeing in them. Right? Anybody would read in it. They got a general. I think they got general discharge.
Really?
Yeah. They would. No
I've been
honorable.
smoking a big
No
fat
pennies.
joint right
Nothing.
then.
You're not a veteran. You're nothing. You're just out. Get out. And I didn't have to pee because I had a court martial coming up. And if they'd got me on that, they'd have let me go. I'd have gladly peed. I was hoping for it, right? Yeah. Kick me out. Kick me out. Everybody's getting kicked out but me. I'm like, fuck. I have weed. I have bad pee.
You're one of the only guys on the ship that had weed.
So I got out of it,
Yeah.
which is good. I wanted an audible anyway. I wanted that.
Yeah. Well,
I
that's
just
good.
fucking lost it. I don't know. I was young. I was a fucking I don't know. It was bad. Just,
Well, once you're in trouble, you might as well just go for it. You know.
yeah. Well, yeah. It made sense to me. Seems to me that I'm not going to find myself in Australia anytime soon. They're going to tell me I got to stay on the ship the whole time. I got to look at it from this. You know? No.
Yeah.
No. I can't be in the. We're in the Philippines. I can't go into. I can't. No. And the thing is, like a lot of people go, well, when I retire, I'll do all that. Yeah, no, I'm
No.
retiring age, and nah, I ain't. No, I'm not taking a world tour. Unless I might go to the bathroom today if I'm lucky. Other than that, there's no heavy plans. I knew that then.
Yeah.
First, you gotta live this long, and then, some
Right.
bullshit. So I'm here now. Live for the
Back
moment.
then, I didn't think we were going to see 30. Are you kidding me?
Now there was a lot of that. I had a doomsday joint on the ship for the
Yeah.
big day. I'm gonna go out baked.
Yep.
So it's always been fucked. You know what I mean? If it's fucked up, well,
Had that gun to our head our whole lives.
yeah, just relax. It'll be fine. It'll be just
Yeah.
fine. I wonder like a solar flare. That would be a bad one, right? Right
Oh,
right in our face, like the turn off all the electronics solar flare,
Yeah.
like the one that shorted out the telegraph system. It was brand new.
Yeah. That one would wreak havoc if it happened
You
again.
bet. For years. The power ain't coming on tomorrow. It ain't coming back. That's fucking wild, right? That fix them. That fixed the Twitters. That solved the AI problem. Solar
But
flare.
it's going to happen. And that was part of who was it? Obama was trying to modernize the grid
Yeah,
because of
bury the
that.
wires.
Because of that.
Yeah. Some have. Some have. Some countries
Yeah.
have done it. I bet you
Yeah.
Japan's got all that shit underground. I
Yeah.
bet you they do. China probably too. They're probably digging holes.
I think there's some places in Europe like that too.
Yeah, probably.
My friend Mark does the he doesn't do the race, but he does the Tour de France after the race. Like he goes over and rides bicycles.
Really? I mean,
Yeah.
what, just to do it, or he's in the race?
Yeah.
He's in the race?
Just to do it. No, he's not in the race. He's
Sure. That's cool. It's more pedaling than I care for.
Yeah, he likes to go up hills.
I never did.
He does the race up Mount Washington. In fact, he had the record for a little while in his age group.
That's the worst part of fucking bike riding.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said, well, at least the ride down must be fun. He said, no, they don't let you ride down it. I'm like, what? You're going to ride uphill for 2 hours or whatever it is, just with no reward afterwards?
No, I don't like it. I
He
don't
says
like
it's
it. I don't
fun.
like anything you
It's
just said.
okay, it's fun.
I like riding bikes out of flat. Yeah, like when I was in Yakima, that whole town is flat, and I had a bike. It's not a problem. There's bike lanes, or everything. Yeah, it's lovely. I'm a big fan. Block Island. You get to the other end, and it's like that grade. It's uphill, but it's like it's deceiving. When you look at it, it looks like flat, but it ain't. You can tell it ain't. It's always just go back to the ferry, right? So, and then that last one, and that one, you just get off and walk it up, and then the way back, on the way back to the launch, yeah, it's all just right. I came around and I came right up onto the ferry. I drove onto it on my bike.
Nice.
Yeah. It was downhill all the way from that. And on that side, in the middle of summer, it was empty. Almost the whole beach to myself.
Wow.
Me and Dave went over there. But we went by that first beach, by the boat launch, and packed, and seagulls and French fries and screaming.
If you go down those bluffs, you go down those stairs, you get down the bluffs, and then there's like this beach and there's cliffs, and it's like you look around, it's like weird. You don't see beach houses, you don't see a bunch
I
of
didn't
shit.
do that one. I went to the other lighthouse on the other end.
Yeah,
I heard about that. I found out about that later. We just did that, and actually, there was no reason to do anything else. We had I said, this whole side of the island is empty. Ain't no shit. I don't think we saw like some people walk by, but they will go to. They just said, "Oh shit, there's people here," and then you could just go a little bit further down and be peopleless. That was nice. That was cool.
Yeah.
Another great bike ride. That was that one I bought after they laid me off at CGI. That bike.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a cool bike. I liked the other one I had. I had like it was just a road bike. It had fenders. You need fenders if it's gonna be a daily driver, because of the rain and
When
shit.
it rains,
Yeah.
it sucks.
It just makes it easier. I mean, you can dress for it, but
I have a road bike I got on the side of the road in a really fancy section near Boston, and it had been an accident or it had fallen off a car or something. It needed new handlebars, a seat, and wheels. And I got a new chain too. But I fixed it up and I put some really good racing wheels on it.
wow.
And the difference, first I had like regular wheels I took off a Columbia 10-speed, right? And they were okay. But once I put the racing wheels on, they just were so much better.
And kind of V. There's very little.
They're so thin,
contact.
and the bearings are so good. Even like Route 94 is a slight grade going up, but you're still shifting into higher gears because
94. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you lived on 94, motherfucker.
Yeah,
There's a lot of hills on that fuck.
yeah.
Death Corner.
Oh yeah, from Death Corner all the way to my house was uphill the whole way.
Yeah,
And that's a long grade.
that was my commute. I
I was
went
in
that
good
way
shape.
to the campus a lot, and then I did 101. What's
I used to ride my bike to Dan Butterworth's when I was working there in Burrowville.
Oh wow. Oh
I used to ride my mountain bike. I'd go down Old Snake Hill Road
yeah.
and take Willie Woodhead Road all the way to Route 44. I'd cross over there into George Washington, and I'd come out on Eagle Peak, or almost at Eagle Peak Road at on the other side of George Washington,
Oh, that's a lot.
all through the woods. It took me 45 minutes in the morning and an hour and a half in the afternoon.
Fuck.
15 miles each way.
People complain about Boston traffic. Right? You got a gas
I'd
pedal.
rather do that, really. It was a good ride. It's so from here down there, it was downhill mostly to Burrowville, and on the way back it was all uphill.
Yep.
More uphills than down.
Yeah.
And in the summertime, you get them, you get those deer flies,
Yeah.
and you go down the hill and you think you've lost them, and as soon as you slow down, they're right back on you again.
Yeah.
They follow you. They follow you for miles, man.
Because like humans really can't escape good.
Even on a bike, you think you got away. All right,
Yeah.
I went down this long hill, and no, they've been following you the whole time.
They're not even winded. They're just pissed.
Yep. And then you're going up a hill, and now they're on you. Now they're biting you in the
Right,
back.
now we got him. Oh, he's going to try and climb that hill and get away from us. That's cute.
Yep.
Oh, worst part of it. I hate it. I did Dolly Cole Hill in a 10-speed.
Oh yeah,
Took me all morning.
that's a steep
School
hill.
day. I chose to do that.
Ivor Bergstrom used to ride around on bike all the time, especially after he got in his accident. And he used to ride these hills all the
Yeah, he
time.
lived up by there. Dolly Cole Hill was probably.
Yeah, he was at the bottom of
his
Dolly Cole
jam,
Hill.
Yeah.
He wanted to go anywhere. He had to go uphill first.
I got over the hill, and I went down, and I got to that next dip, right? I said, that's enough. I'm going home. I'm turning around. I was leaving. Rhode Island. It was my first attempt to get to California. I think I was in 7th grade or something. I'm always, well, not anymore, but when I was young, I was always finding myself in situations I wanted to flee from. And wasn't. Yeah, it's in. Yeah, I'll just run. I'll take off. Fuck you. I'm gone. I got a plan. I'm gonna get my 10-speed.
I'm gonna ride it.
And
to
on my
California.
first leg is Dolly Cole Hill Road. This is just to beat all the whatever was in me out of me. I was beat. I just want to. Yeah. All right.
So George and EJ and Joe and the Morgans and the Carls, Billy and Albert lived right across this road from George at the top of the hill.
Yeah.
And they used to hang out with the Bergstroms who lived at the bottom of the hill. So
Yeah.
those guys were going up and down all the time on that hill.
I think they might be walking it sometimes.
Yeah, probably.
I walked up that hill with George and John Segee and Ruben Dunce.
Which one, Kurt or Dave?
Kurt.
Oh, Kurt. Yeah.
He was in my class too. Actually, he was one of those guys I got along with. There wasn't many there. Danny Corbett, him. And that's pretty much it. The rest of the school was evil. Anti-Dave. Everybody was anti. Get him. He's back. I was not popular there. Ever. From 5th grade on.
So what did you do? You fled.
Yeah, I fled. I escaped for a while. Dada was there. Yeah, no, I wasn't there at all. I touched base. I went up there, wasn't the donuts around the fucking flagpole. And then you know where that led. Yep. We can prove it.
Yep.
We can prove it with a scientific, Thunderdome. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. Fucking bullshit, man. Yeah, so then I went into the military. My first day on this ship, Mike, right? I woke up in Iraq and I sat up like normal people and I hit my head immediately, right? And I laid back down and I remembered where I was. Then I go, what the fuck was I thinking? I've been thinking that for a while, but this was, okay, this is, you're gonna be here a while. It's gonna be like
I
this.
live here now.
Yeah, you live in a steel thing. Everything's steel. Everything hurts when you hit it with your head. They should give us helmets. At least I wasn't tall. I had a friend of mine who was tall. That guy John who did the sign language, he was like 6'3" or something.
Wow.
I used to follow him on the ship. Yeah, I'm clearing everything, but his head was up with the lanterns and the pipes and all that shit. His head was just like moving through it.
Oh man.
But I'm not doing it. He did that a lot.
Yeah.
Tell you that was dumb. Hey, did Laura get the book?
I did. I keep trying to break in to say thank you, Dave.
Sick Box. You read it? You read any of it?
I started it just briefly because I had to finish some other stuff for work, but I'm looking forward to reading it.
That's great.
Thank you.
Sick Box.
I love getting a book in the mail.
Yeah.
The very first thing is he calls it the Day of the Beam. And so the doctors and his wife decide that he should spend a little time
You definitely have that
in a
Faulkner
sick
feel at the
box.
beginning.
He calls it a sick box. It's coffin. But they're in denial, sort of. This is just the first 3 sections anyway. It's right. I'm giving you page 1 shit. And then there's another guy. The Day of the Beam. He had a wife, and they were finally going to consummate the marriage. So he was all excited about that, but he had to go to work first, and that was the beam hits him and he dies, right? But he's
What?
Are you telling me the whole book?
No, I'm telling you the very first paragraph.
Oh, okay.
these are the beginnings. Right?
Okay.
So he's a ghost, but he doesn't. So he's going around sort of like with a giant hat on, right, and this crushed in head, right, and he's reliving the life. He's repeating this story, right, in his head. Then another guy, he was a gay man. This is a long time, the Lincoln time, right? This is actually just a week, in Willie's life when he dies. So the other guy, he was gay, wasn't going to work out, so he kills himself. Well, he cuts his arm, right? And now suddenly he realizes, he starts making a list in his head of all the things he's going to miss, like coffee and spring and flowers and apples and all this, right? So he's like this massive hands and eyeballs looking at all these objects. He's making this constant list of things, reasons to live, right? And he doesn't know he's dead either.
Oh.
This is like the reality he lives in. But they do interact with each other, right? And they're all characters like that. Some face death right away and they just move on. Nobody knows what the fuck happens. All they know is that they have it. It's sort of like a reality they don't want to really look at, right? So they're talking. All they do is just keep repeating. They're in this loop, right? And it says, "My God, is that a child?" Right? And it's Willie. It's Willie Lincoln. He's died. And he's dead.
Wow.
Oh, now I'm going upstairs to read.
There you go.
I know. I tried to describe this book to Joy. I always blow it with her, right? I'm like, oh, it's a good book. And I start describing this. It's about Lincoln's dead child being a ghost. and she's looking, and I see it in her eyes. This guy, I never get this guy. You know what I mean? So I'm losing her. Oh, I love
Did you make that sound? Did you suck your teeth out? Yeah.
That noise girls from Cranston make when they'll oh. God, I can't believe it. Of all books, and then Laura gets it right away. So
Well, I'm going to read it.
Should have practiced on you.
Well, Dave, I got to get going. But,
yeah, me too. Oh, look at this. Yeah, there's always an hour and a half. I got plenty to do now. Boy, do I have some content.
Yeah, this is going to be an exciting episode.
Yeah. We don't draw anything. Nobody's gonna watch this one. It's just gonna
No.
be the two of us. They're gonna it's those two. You know, they take off when Mikey's here. I think Mikey
Yeah,
has
well,
fans.
he's goofy. He makes it entertaining.
Yeah, he's the man with the tinfoil hat. Well, okay.
Or the man.
Thanks. Wait. We need an outro. We gotta do something like that because we don't have the timing. If you've been watching this long, give us a like.
Okay, goodbye.
Okay, goodbye.